Welcome to my class. Today we are going to learn about the taxation policies introduced by the British in India. To begin with, the main aim of British colonial rule in India was maximum wealth extraction. For this purpose, the British adopted methods such as trade, taxation, and wars. Among these, the land revenue system played a crucial role. Moreover, different tax systems were introduced in different regions of India. As a result, these policies deeply affected the lives of farmers and artisans. Now, let us examine the major taxation system introduced by the British. First, let us look at the permanent settlement of 1793. It was introduced in Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Under this system, Zamindars were recognized as landowners. Moreover, farmers had to pay a fixed amount of tax irrespective of crop yield. Therefore, even during crop failure, taxes remained unchanged. As a result, peasants were severely exploited. After understanding the permanent settlement, let us move on to another system. Ryotwari system 1820. The Ryotwari system, introduced in 1820, was implemented in South India and the Deccan. In this system, farmers were treated as landowners. Moreover, tax was collected directly from the farmers. However, failure to pay taxes led to the seizure of land. Next, let us examine the taxation system followed in North and Central India. Mahalwari system 1822. The Mahalwari system, introduced in 1822, was implemented in North India, Central India, and Punjab. Under this system, the village was treated as a unit for tax collection. Moreover, villagers had collective responsibility for tax payment. Consequently, villages that failed to pay taxes were annexed by the British. Having studied the three major systems, let us now look at their common features. In general, the British taxation had certain common features. Very high tax rates were imposed on farmers. Moreover, there was no tax relief during floods or droughts. Revenue collection methods were strict and harsh. As a result, money lenders gained importance, supported by the British legal system. Now, let us understand how these taxation policies affected Indian farmers. The impact of British taxation policies on farmers were very severe. Farmers found it difficult to pay heavy taxes, therefore, they became dependent on money lenders. As a result, many fell into debt traps and lost their land. Moreover, farmers were forced to grow cash crops instead of food crops. Consequently, food production declined, leading to food shortages and famines. Like farmers, artisans were also affected by British policies. The impact on artisans. British policies also caused great suffering to artisans. Machine-made goods from Britain flooded Indian markets. As a result, Indian handicrafts declined. Moreover, artisans lost their traditional occupations. This led to unemployment, forcing many to work as agricultural laborers. Finally, let us summarize the lesson. In conclusion, British taxation policies were designed mainly to serve colonial interests. These policies destroyed the agrarian economy and pushed farmers into poverty and debt. Moreover, traditional handicrafts industries declined rapidly. Therefore, British taxation caused widespread rural distress. Thus, these exploitative policies became a major factor behind Indian resistance to British rule. Before we end the lesson, let us assess our understanding. First question: in which year was the permanent settlement introduced? Second, under which system was tax collected directly from farmers? Third, who introduced the Mahalwari system? Let us discuss the answers. To begin with, the permanent settlement was introduced in 1793. Next, tax was collected directly from farmers under the Ryotwari system. Finally, the Mahalwari system was introduced by Holt Mackenzie. With this, we have revised the important points of today's session. Let's bring us to the end of this class.